I've said it before and I will say it again. Mushrooms will literally change your life. I promise. Hello, welcome to the Silly Talk podcast. I'm your host, Shally. And on this podcast, we talk all things mushrooms, mindset, mindfulness, music, millions, I don't know, all the M's, things that are just gonna get your mind right, your body feeling great, and your life amazing. Okay, so let's get into it. I stumbled onto mushrooms in probably the most amazing and divine ways, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so happy that one of my friends at the time just decided to bring over a bag of mushrooms for us to hang out. At this time of my life, I was really deep into the whole party stage and just like drinking a lot, doing other things. And I just was unhappy, you know. I was using it to self-soothe. All my friends, we were all doing the same thing. So we were just like in this toxic negative loop. And one of our friends, he like lived on this huge farm and mushrooms would literally grow in his backyard. Like, I don't know, they just would. He would go out picking mushrooms and he was just like a little fairy of a person. He's amazing. And he brought over this whole bag of mushrooms one night and we were just like, cool, whatever. Like, I had tried them before, but like I was like in high school one time and another time I was like still kind of young, and so I was like, I didn't really see. But this time was different, right? Third time's the charm. So we started eating them and started taking them, and I originally thought that they were like another party favor. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, something else to turn me up. Like, let's go, let's party. And I was so wrong, but like in the best way, because we were eating them and like I ate a lot that night, right? Like they weren't super strong, but like I ate a lot, so I was like feeling it. And I started to feel a feeling that I had been chasing, if that makes sense. I feel like when people drink a lot or like smoke a lot or do certain drugs, like they're chasing a high, right? Chasing the dragon, because like what they're really doing is trying to run away from their negative feelings. So they're chasing that like bliss. And when I was on the mushrooms and I was tripping on the mushrooms, I was like, oh my God, this is the feeling I've been chasing. And I realized that it's not even exactly like an external like thing that I've been chasing. It's that those emotions that I was trying to run away from, I didn't feel like shit. Like those shitty emotions I was trying to run away from, like I didn't feel like shit anymore. And then those memories or instances that were causing me to feel like shit, I was still aware of them, but I felt okay about it. And I just felt like peaceful and aware and awake and like really silly and funny, and it was just awesome. And I just like laughed my ass off, me and my friends, that night, and it was just like an amazing night. And like that night literally changed the trajectory of my life. I remember waking up the next day and feeling freaking fantastic. I was like, I don't even feel like shit. Like, I'm not hungover. I don't have a headache. Like, I actually feel good. And like later in my mushroom journey, I realized that that's called the afterglow. Like, and it lasts days after. That's why mushrooms are amazing. But anywho, yeah, that changed. And so from that point on, I was like so eager to do them again, but not in like a feeling like I need it type of way, but just like I want to experience that again, because like I didn't even know what I was getting into the first time I did them. And so I was like, I want to experience that again, like consciously knowing that like this is how I'm gonna feel, and like my mind's gonna open up, I'm gonna be more at peace. And it's like, oh my God, what could I like think about? Like what could I bring about in my life? Like what more could I get from this experience, right? So I continued to take mushrooms and do all these things, and it was amazing because as I kept taking mushrooms throughout my journey, I like stemmed further and further away from just like alcohol and drugs and things like that. I'll get into like why that happened, but like it just opened my mind, changed my life, made me a more grounded, secure, confident, loving, peaceful person. And ever since like that moment, it has been my like internal drive to tell as many people as possible about mushrooms. I just can't, I have to tell the world, because like this is what we need. I swear, if everybody was taking mushrooms, or at least like microdosing, like the world would be a better place. All right, like mark my words. So I'm sure you've heard about mushrooms, whether it was like in a bad way or, you know, you've done them before, you've heard good things about them. Like I'm sure you've heard about them, and they've been stigmatized for decades, for a very long time, because like I said, they make you feel amazing, and not in like a fiending, like druggy, like any sort of way. It's like internal bliss. Even days after your mushroom experience, you feel phenomenal. It's so good. And then they're also non-addictive. So it's like you can't even get addicted to them, because if you take them too many days in a row, it becomes less effective. So it's like it's like they've like foolproof themselves from you becoming dependent on them. It's not even like that type of thing. It's a plant. It literally grows from the ground. They were stigmatized for a long time, and I understand why. Because if people have access to shit like this, how would they make money selling the pharmaceuticals? You know, how would they make money on like all the other shit people do and buy and consume that just like numb their emotions or numb their feelings or like put a band-aid on shit? Like mushrooms literally takes away like all of that. That's why they were stigmatized decades ago, like in the 60s, the hippie movement, all of that. And now we are in a mushroom revolution. I feel like we have been for a while, and it's just become so much more common and so much more, what's the word? People are into it. Okay, people are into it. Like, I love them. I love it. I love that people are into it. There's so many different organizations and companies that produce them, and therapists and scientists and healing practitioners that like incorporate them into their work and their practices. Like, it's incredible. And we are amongst the mushroom revolution, right? Like, think about like the cannabis revolution. I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 years ago when it started to become like normalized again because it's fucking weed, like who cares? And it's the same thing with mushrooms, you know, like the knowledge was just lost. Not even lost, it just wasn't widely spread for a while, so people had such a bad idea about it. And I'm so happy that now people are realizing how great it is for you. They're feeling better and they're telling everybody about it. All right, so we are in the mushroom revolution. Things are going good. Mushies are the future, they're the present, they're the past, they're you, they're me. All right. It's funny. It's really funny how they were declared dangerous, like literally dangerous. Dangerous. I can name about 10 other things that are like widely used and people do all the time to self-soothe that are extremely dangerous, that they're give them dangerous. They're like, they saved my life. Okay, I'm gonna get into how they did, but like dangerous is like, it's comical to call something like mushrooms dangerous. Like, they're actually incredible, amazing, my favorite thing, life-changing, the best, not dangerous, right? Okay, anyway. So the main things that taking mushrooms do, whether you're microdosing or macrodosing, at that time, or like if you do it over time, what it does is it really helps to improve one's mental health and just overall well-being. So if somebody suffers with things like anxiety, depression, burnout, just like emotional trauma, PTSD, OCD, ADHD, all the D's, like literally it helps so much, because what mushrooms do, they help to stimulate neuroplasticity. And what neuroplasticity is when you're creating new neural pathways in the brain. So your old neural pathways that are connected to like mental health issues and like anxiety and OCD and like certain things, depression, past traumas, like those neurons that are firing and wiring together, when you're taking the mushrooms, especially taking them over time, it's like you're looking this way. And the new neurons are firing and wiring together, and it's creating new neural pathways. And as these new neural pathways are creating, because you're not paying attention to the old ones anymore, the old ones are weakening, and they're weakening, and they're weakening. And now you've created all these new neural pathways in the brain that are positive, that boost your mental health, that boost your overall well-being, that make you happier and make you more positive and make you more peaceful and more calm, right? Because all that other shit's gone. What I love about them is like being an artist and a creative and a content creator, and just like if you're any sort of creator, if you're just a fucking person in general, you love being tapped into your creativity. And so what mushrooms really help to do is boost your creativity, because they're creating those new neural pathways in your brain. So you're like thinking of new ideas, and like your brain's thinking quicker and like seeing things outside of the box. I tapped so much more into my creativity once I started doing mushrooms. Me being an artist and a creative person and a content creator wasn't even a thing before I started doing mushrooms. And as I started doing mushrooms, I was like, oh, I want to find more ways to like express myself and like be more creative. Like, what can I do? And then like, here we are. Mushrooms also help to boost your self-esteem and your confidence. Like, I don't know, you just feel like that bitch when you're like on a microdose. They just do. And like, I don't know, I just really feel so much better. And it's really, really, like I said, good for your brain. It's gonna help to boost your productivity by helping you to focus more and stay more concentrated. So that's why it's like really good for my ADHD girlies. It boosts your athletic performance. That's why a lot of athletes microdose. Like, if you've ever heard about that, like this is why, because it literally naturally boosts your athletic performance, and it also boosts your mood. You're just a happier person. Like, you're literally a happier, more calm, more positive, like easygoing, easy flowing person. I don't know, the microdose is gonna make you great. Side note, Super Mario Bros. If you've ever played Super Mario Bros, they go to get the mushroom. The shit's in plain sight, okay? Like, the writers of that video game, the creators of that video game, they did a lot of mushrooms. They knew the power. They knew what they were talking about. They put it right in our face. Because every time Mario got the mushroom, what happened to him? He got bigger. He got stronger. Shit got better, right? It's the same thing for us. It's literally the same thing for us. I love them. So while taking mushrooms and my whole mushroom experience, I've literally done it so many times. I've eaten probably pounds of mushrooms at this point in the last like 5, 6, 7 years. And I've done them all different settings, all different amounts, with different people at different times in my life and different mindsets. And like, I found that the best way to take mushrooms is when you're also like incorporating a healthier lifestyle, whether that mean like mentally healthier or just like physically healthier. Like when you're incorporating and you're living like a holistically healthier lifestyle, so like mind, body, soul, and you're taking mushrooms and you're microdosing, it's like accelerates your healing, literally. Because like I did them for years while I was still heavy drinking, I was still doing other stuff, and I was still down and like in my bullshit. It was doing what I needed to do. Like it literally like helped me pull me out of the fucking gutter. But once I started to microdose and take mushrooms, like while also living a healthier lifestyle, it literally accelerated my healing. I felt so much better, so much quicker, and I was able to just really conceptualize and integrate even better these epiphanies I was having. For all these epiphanies I was having, like while I was integrating my experiences, it made it so much easier to like instill these new ideas, these new thought patterns, these new habits into my life, because like I was just already being a healthier person. And with that said, I've created a program that helps anybody who wants to get into mushrooms, like who wants to take them, who wants to heal from them, who wants to learn about them, who wants to learn about holistic health in general. I created a program, and it's called the Path to Inner Peace, because bitch, the mushrooms are the path to inner peace. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's so incredible how peaceful and calm and regulated my nervous system is, and how much better I feel internally, like mentally, physically, emotionally, and on like a soul level from doing mushrooms and living a holistically healthier lifestyle. And I'm like, this is what the people need. This is what you need. If you are suffering from any of those things I listed before, I promise you, this is gonna get you to feel so much better. It's incredible. So I created this program that teaches you how to microdose from like A to Z, right? Everything about mushrooms, where to get them from, what the different strains do, how much to take, how to microdose, how to do all of that. And then as well as living a holistically healthier lifestyle. And that's not just like what you eat and exercising. Holistic health is like the whole person, every aspect. And also, side note, taking mushrooms also helps to improve the relationship that you have with yourself and with other people, because it makes you a more calm and understanding and introspective person. You become less reactive, and you become less critical and hard on yourself and hard on others. So that is another huge, oh my gosh, huge benefit of microdosing mushrooms, right? That's why I think that like if everybody were to take mushrooms, like the world would be better. We would stop fighting with each other, right? Anywho, so the Path to Inner Peace, I'm going to link it below. It's my signature program. And also when you're in the program, you'll automatically be put into a private community of other people who are on this mushroom journey. We could talk about our experiences and give inspiration and all of that, so that you don't feel alone. Because it's not that this isn't something, like I do recommend microdosing and sometimes doing the mushrooms like when you're like by yourself, you know, or when you're with trusted people. But you want to talk about the experiences that you're having in your mind. Like you want to talk to somebody who understands like what you're going through, what you're thinking about, and like be like, oh my God, yeah, that makes so much sense. So like that's why I created this community, so that we could just talk to each other. And because it just makes it easier, makes it better, it just makes you feel less alone as you're going through this. So yeah, the Path to Inner Peace, it's linked below. You'll love it. And if you're still, wanting to learn more about mushrooms and you still don't like even really understand what they are, I also have a free mushroom class that's linked below too, which really just gives you the basics, like the basics of mushrooms, and answers any questions. We go over myths about it, so that you feel completely confident in just the idea of them. So that I'll also link below. Thank you so much for tuning into my silly talk. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for you and grateful for the time that we've spent today. Remember, life is supposed to be good, and you're supposed to feel amazing, okay? Stay silly. I love you.